Just want to ask Oscar the same question as I asked Adam. Back in Sweden, it didn't seem like COVID was anywhere as big a problem as it was in North America, and the Swedes handle it much differently. Did you feel uh, that you got out in the city a lot more than we would here? And the other question is, what do you see in Philip Broberg after 4 days of practice?
Yeah, first off, obviously, it's hard for me to sit here and say Sweden did the right thing or wrong thing, but it was obviously a big difference from over here. Going back home when we stopped playing and come back to Sweden, everything was normal basically. But you just got to be smart. Obviously, it's a lot of common sense, and I tried to isolate myself and my family the best I could to stay safe and healthy, obviously, and be ready to continue our season whenever it was going to take place. So, but obviously it's been a different approach, obviously. But I'm happy right now because the numbers been really good lately. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they're progressing still. Philip Broberg, I just heard Adam talk a little bit, and I'm impressed. I haven't seen him too much in Sweden, but big, strong guy, good skater. I think he can. He have a lot of potential. Obviously, it's tough for guys coming over from Europe to adjust to the North American style of playing. But I think he's smart enough, and he's gonna have a bright future here.
Okay, next question from Mark Spector. Mark, as soon as your microphone is active, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
Thanks, Oscar. Two things. Were you on social media last night, and did you see what was going on at your home arena, and what were your thoughts? And maybe just a little more on Broberg as such a young kid. The question will be, does he come here as a 19-year-old? Does he stay home in Sweden as a 19-year-old? You went through all those decisions. Maybe you can enlighten us of what's going through his head.
Yeah, first off, I were home at Larson's place. Obviously, we saw the tweets and the videos, and obviously we're scared, and it's crazy. We thought it was a sign. I mean, first COVID and then this, like, it's crazy. We just want to finish the season. I think we have a really good chance to go all the way. So obviously we were the whole team were relieved when we came into the rink today. Obviously we're not as affected as I thought we would be. So we're just going to stay focused here and do our job every day. On Philip again, I think it's very individual. Like you said, for me, I was in a really good spot in Sweden. I was in a really professional, big organization who really believed in me, and I played a lot of minutes, and I felt like I was in a good spot to grow my game and don't be stressed to coming over here. I think it's very easy to stress a little bit. Obviously, you get a nice NHL contract and you want to get over here as soon as possible to prove yourself and the teammates in North America that you're good enough to play here. But I think it's very individual. And for me, I was in a good spot. Like I said, I was in a good organization with Färjestad. And for me, that was the right way to go. But for Philip, I don't know how he is feeling right now, but he's in a good spot as well. I think he have a lot of potential. And once again, if he wants to come over here and adjust to the North American hockey style for a bit, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But I'm very excited to see what he can bring to the organization here.
Next question from Daniel Nugent-Bowman. Go ahead, Daniel.
Oscar, I hope you're well. And I keep this theme going and continue to ask about Broberg here, if you don't mind. You're like him, you were a first-round draft pick, and like you talked in the last answer there about coming over. But this training camp is very different for him, his first NHL camp, probably compared to your first camp. So what types of advice are you offering him, and what, going into a pre-playoff type camp, how is it different than maybe your first camp was as an Oiler years ago?
I remember my first camp as it was yesterday, actually. It's a fine line of playing your style of hockey and show the coaches and the team who you are as a player, and keeping it simple and grow the game. I think he, like I said, once again, he have a lot of potential and he have a lot of confidence with the puck, but sometimes you're just going to play the easy game, and sometimes the easy game is the best game. So it's a fine line of want to show off and be smart and keep it simple. That's a fine line, and for me it took a little bit of time. You don't want to play too safe. You still want to go at it and give it a shot and show the coaches and the whole organization what you're made of. So obviously he want to get out there and have a lot of fun and obviously show the guys and the coaches what he made of and what he got. So for me, it took me a little bit of time just to get out of the comfort zone a little bit and actually hold on to the puck and get some confidence. But that's very individual, obviously.
Next question from Tony Brar. Tony, as soon as your microphone's active, go ahead.
Oscar, obviously unprecedented times right now heading into the return to play plan, but you have a familiar face alongside with you in Adam Larsson on your D pairing. You guys have been together all year long and for many years now. How confident are you guys that your game from this regular season will translate to playoff hockey?
I think both me and Adam has done everything we can to stay in shape, be motivated, and obviously be ready to play. It was obviously, once again, back to the COVID situation. We were fortunate enough to go out and not as strict quarantine rules as over here in North America. So we've been done everything we can in our power to be ready. If we were going to go back in May, June, July, whatever, we want to be ready and give us the best chance we can to bring this home.
Okay, we've got one final question. Jim Matheson. Jim, as soon as your microphone is active, you can ask your question. Go ahead, Jim.
A couple of questions. One question on Patrick Kane. What's it like playing against Patrick Kane? And the other question I would have is, you keep mentioning that you came over and you stayed longer in Sweden. Broberg is only just turned 19. Does he need 2 more years in Sweden? Yeah, they turn out defensemen awfully well playing in the Swedish Hockey League.
Yeah, start off with that question, Jim. Referring to my case, I think the league was really good. It's obviously a different game, bigger ice. It's more structure. For me, it was the right way to go. Just to be smart and be in good positions all the time. But obviously it's a big difference coming over here when it's more speed, smaller ice surface, more physical. But for me individually, I think staying home in Sweden is not a bad thing. I can see fans and organizations want to bring them over to have more control over them, obviously, to see what they're doing and play a little bit, adjust to North American hockey style. But for me, staying in Sweden was the right way to go. That's a good league. It's a lot of skill. There's a lot of good players. And obviously, like you said, if they stay in Sweden one more year to play a lot and get a lot of responsibility to develop their game, it's usually not a bad thing. What was the second question there? Sorry, I didn't. Was there a second question there? Sorry.
Hang on, I'm trying to remember too. Hang on a second. I'll find Jim and I'll ask.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is. Jim, go ahead and ask a question again. Sorry about that. Jim, your microphone is active now. Go ahead.
What's it like playing against Patrick Kane, who always has good success against the Edmonton Oilers, and why does he do that?
He is probably one of the most skilled guys in the league for sure. He is different in a way because he's not like Connor. He brings a ton of speed, but somehow he have an ability to suck players in and open up space for other guys, kind of like Leon. Incredible hockey sense and really good. Good backhand. He's really hard to play against. You want to play him really tight, but you don't want to get sucked in his tempo because he can turn on a dime and he can find sauce passes and backhand passes and God's know what. So you got to be smart out there. Obviously now when I played in this league for some years, you learn how to play against top guys. But once again, we got to be ready. We got to focus on our game, and personally, I got to focus on my game, and we should be fine.